Season 15. In the summer of 2025, I played about 1,500 games of NA solo queue, Hardstuck in silver, and bronze on my Twitch live stream. I honestly didn't expect it to play out like it did. Ranked solo queue, so I assumed, was mostly just a numbers game. One long grind, and the more you grind, the more you should level up through the tiers. Getting D4 was just going to be a matter of time. Before I knew it, I'd be at the top of the list of Gwyn one-trick ponies in NA solo queue. So I just started my first games, and I still can remember that familiar feeling of excitement building up inside me as I waited patiently in the loading screen for the other 9 champions to connect and load onto the rift alongside me for the most epic battle of our age. League of Legends was back, and I was back too. The legend himself returned, a once ruined king, to the throne room. Surely this would be the season I ascended to the throne of Shurima. Wait, let's back up a bit. So, just to provide some context, I have been a huge League of Legends fan and active player since Season 3. I was terrified to play ranked my first year of the game because I didn't feel like I was good enough to, and I didn't want to let down my team. So I studied the game obsessively, watching pro gamers' streams and more educational content as well. I can remember learning jungle from Night Blue 3, watching NA pro players like Afromoo, who taught me how to show presence in the lane as a support, while Peter Double of Ping taught me how to take risks, make insane outplays, and pressure lane to ultimately win the game through one of the most underrated roles on the Rift, especially at my elo, ADC. From the start, I considered myself an ADC main, and of course, I wanted to learn to play Vayne, the weakest but flashiest of the late game hyper carries at the time. The highest I ever got back then was around gold elo. And then I would mostly just focus on normal games for fun and to practice and hone my skills for those perfect storms where I would attempt to translate what I had learned into ranked games. So everything had to be perfect for me to do ranks. It's like everything. Like I had to be in a perfect mood. I had to be like the weather had to be perfect, to be like the perfect time of day, to be like, eat the perfect meal, and it was nothing's ever perfect. And anyways, so as soon as I hit gold for season rewards, then I would just go back to playing normals just for fun again. One of the progression systems that kept me playing back then, I remember, was the grind for higher tier champion mastery. I wanted to get as many level 7 mastery on as many different champs as I could. I loved focusing on getting S plus on supports, since it felt like those were more difficult to attain than others to me at the time. But somewhere along the way, I lost interest. And for years, I would only log in very casually just to play League of Legends like an ARAM or something, not even attempting ranked play. But during the summer of 2025, that would all change. Since I began streaming live on Twitch, I have almost exclusively played PSO2 in GS, as that was where most people online had come to know me. Although I have so much passion for so many other games online, these have been my chains. I've been tied to the franchise and community for so long, I even began to lose sight of what I wanted, and who I was inside changed a lot over the years too. Going back to my original passion and getting in touch with that competitive edge for League has been a refreshing adrenaline pumping experience, something I've been craving for ages. So many things have changed now that we are in season 15. Yeah, some things I guess never will. But some big ones, well, I used to play League uh, when I first started, I was not a live streamer. Playing for fun alone or even with a close friend or two without judgment is a very different experience than playing while broadcasting myself. Um, and I found that like I found out that almost immediately. Like my ego came into question as I found myself falling short of where I wanted to be, where I felt I deserved to be. And the more angry or upset that I became, the more embarrassed and the worse I played. The usual tilt was thrown into a full on tailspin at times, but yet my stream just continued to roll. Unfortunately, most of my community that was left from PSO2 probably didn't quite jive with the new League of Legends streams, as it's a very different ballpark than what I'd been doing with my fashion shows and chill hangout streams. Still, I was obsessed. I could not put the game down. It had changed, evolved even, like Kha'Zix, and its claws were so deep inside me that I felt like it would take all summer if I ever could even pull them out. And, as I say, if you look into the void, I guess it looks back into you a little. Oh, anyways, let's just say I spent many a night wading through the jungles of solo Q&A, sometimes 5 hours at a time, sometimes more like 10 hours. I even did a couple of 20-hour streams to test my limits this past year and push myself harder and further than I ever had before. And the results were not there. I feel like initially we saw a lot of support from a few places where I got more subs gifted than I had ever seen before, but the massive bloated category of League on Twitch is just nearly impossible to break into. Even though I was streaming full time weeks, 40 or 50 hours a week, I was getting less than two average viewers. Mostly it was just me, trapped with myself in a funhouse mirror of solo queue. And oh boy, did I get paranoid. I mean, who would stream snipe a low elo, low viewer nobody like me? And yet, my games continued to feel tampered with on some level. My champ select would often have the enemy team banning my team's hovers, or banning picks from my previous game, target banning me, stealing our picks, and more. The games themselves would end up being strange a percent of the time, as if two players were guiding the entire enemy team to gangstalk me. I began to wonder if I had a riot handler who was gangstalking me, ensuring I would never make it out of bronze again. I know for a fact that there were some Smurfs in my games because I added them afterwards and they confessed to me, even discussed aspects of their business models, and offered some tips to help get me going. One of them even offered to make it up to me by playing a few games together. We won like 8 games in a row. And I know I deserve to be banned for that, and I know it's a big contested thing right now. I deserve much worse for what I did this past summer because I lost almost everything that I've been working. Because it seems like in pursuit of this dream of being a league streamer or even getting out of low elo, like I don't know, I've lost so much. Like Riot is just now addressing some of the issues that plagued many of our streams and also looking into some of the new ways that they can make the game more welcoming to new and returning low elo players, which there is, like WSAD. There's a lot of yeah, thoughts about that right now, but we can get into that in a different video. So if you guys would like to hear my thoughts on all of that, just let me know in the comments below. I would like to think my streams and this video even might shed some light on what that experience was like for me and help those burdened with lighting the path forward for all of us. May this video serve y'all at Riot well too. Nobody in NA has played as many low elo rank games as I did the summer of 2025. Nobody even came close in my division. So nobody was more confused than me when I had a solid 50% win rate, yet had not been climbing. I've been rapidly backsliding even. I peaked in early July at the very top of Silver 1. From that point forward, it was a steady downhill slide, and no matter what I did, nothing could get me back to where I'd once been. I felt as if the system itself was digesting me to help the forward momentum of players who played far less games than me. Like I had been invisibly tagged as cannon minion fodder. I tried swapping back to Gwen top and split pushing, avoiding my team's every move, apart from spam pinging the voidlings, in favor of cross map tower plays. Many times I killed towers without any minions on them. One time I even had to reset with an hourglass, but I didn't save the clip. I won many games through a single lane, left unattended during Dragon. Even a handful of base races were in my favor. Still, That wasn't enough to offset the games I threw and lost while trying to 1v9 as Gwen. I tried jungle. I tried the jungle. I tried jungling. I think that my superior objective control of the map, knowledge of of jungle pathing, tracking of escapes and summoners would give me an edge. I even coined my own term, the triple quad. I would invade topside, take 3 quadrants of the jungle, and some games I even got to scuttle crabs too, and that still wasn't enough. It still wasn't it. I couldn't consistently win games. There were so many mid jungle duos that smashed me, invaded my own jungle. Some bot laners would rip through the map and take over no matter what I did. Some games were just unwinnable. So I swapped lanes and champs and roles endlessly all season. Maybe that's why I couldn't climb. Perhaps my mechanics could pull me out. That's what I had always relied on. Ah, yes. Damn it, Kaisa. Your ADC instincts. Auto spacing and kiting coming back to me. No, no, no. I don't need WSAD, even if I sometimes accidentally attack move a ward. That one late game team fight where I turtle in the base the entire game just so I had that one moment where I get to obliterate the entire enemy team with blindingly fast precision and attack speed approaching the speed of light. Yeah, some games are like that. But even I could not pentakill my way through bronze. Supporting my teammates, that was surely the way. If I could just lift them up, light up the enemy jungle like a Christmas tree with wards, keep summer safe, we could just win the game. And we did many of them. But still, it was not enough to get me out of low elo. Even after placing tons of wards before dragons, winning tons of games, trying to appeal for my ADC when no one else would, or counterplay what the enemy was doing with Lulu to your exhaust or whatever, it was never enough. I felt like I was on a merry-go-round at this point. Some games were mildly mismatched, others were wildly mismatched. In fact, many were. Iron players playing with silver happened so much of the time. Like every other game seemed to include a smurf or someone griefing so hard on my team that we had no choice but to lose. Whether it was AFKing in a bush for like forever at the middle to end point of the game, or someone that was hiding 10 feet behind the ADC since the beginning because they don't understand where they're supposed to play at all as a support, or if they're just doing nothing and hiding behind towers that aren't even contested. Oh man, I feel like AI could have done better than some of these players. And the more upset that I got at myself, the more it would come out at my teammates. And also, I'm sorry to say, my Twitch chat and community as well. I love y'all, and I'm so sorry for the ones who pulled up to my 3 a.m. league rant sessions. It just brings that competitive side out of me. And I can't help but wonder that even with the occasional disconnects, remakes, smurfs, boosters, account sharers, and mismatched ranking, somehow I was hard stuck more than just in low elo, but also I felt like I was hard stuck mentally. I know that I have control over myself and I don't want to constantly blame everyone else. So I do realize I'm the only common denominator here between all these games, but that's just simply not even the argument that I'm making here. I think even so, while maintaining a 50% win rate in spite of insurmountable odds, I feel like as a gamer, as a longtime fan of the series, as a player, a streamer, a content creator, I feel like I deserve more than silver, low silver, bronze elo. If I was that bad, I would have like fallen way below 50%. So why have I been unable to consistently climb? Especially after piling on an excess of what any regular human being with an actual balanced and healthy life could ever do. Why the hell am I still hard stuck in silver at the end of all of this? I don't know if it's the system, if it's me or what, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens in the last part of the 2025 season. Hopefully, some of you guys will drop by my Twitch channel and watch some of it this time. I'm also going to be pulling more clips and shorts over here to get some of y'all on board with my new league content. I think looking forward, I want to be a more positive inspiration to my teammates. And no, although I'm not going to be unmuting everyone, but I'll try to stop spam pinging players so much. And I just want to be the best player that I can. I'm going to focus on myself, my own play, understanding that some games are out of my control as much as in this life. But it's really up to Riot to meet us halfway and deliver games that are competitively balanced at the top levels of play while maintaining a challenging yet satisfying solo queue experience at all levels of play without disrupting the environment to the point that the game loses its identity. I think they've done a phenomenal job with all their systems and tweaks and balances over the years, but I also feel like they have missed the mark on more than one occasion. Before the moving forward too fast, opening the floodgates for WSAD, and all of these other changes to the jungle and itemizations that Riot takes, I hope they will give care to their matchmaking algorithms and the disruption that the higher elo community is bringing to low elo with some of the business aspects of coaching, boosting, and finding ways that like they could at least band-aid fix some of the bottom percent of games which end up falling short of what they would like to maintain for a competitive environment and ranking system to reflect that at all levels of play, that kind of payout rewards and that'll still feel impactful and justify the time that was spent and invested to get there. For what it's worth, I still feel like I've gotten a lot out of this experience as a player, but I also feel let down immeasurably with my progress. Riot must address systems they've had in place for player progression over time and must factor in everything that could be disrupting the flow. I know it's not that easy, but I have faith they will continue to tweak their matchmaking algorithms and become more aware of the aspects of the businesses feeding off League and how those could be disrupting their metrics. I also realize that reward and progression over time has always been a key point of contingency because like as league has progressed through time, being like a free to play game, they have had to expand, rework access to their systems over and over. Like for example, like how much blue essence should you be allowed to earn over time from playing? How much free Hardstuck skins can you pull for free? And I'm sorry, y'all, if someone is playing 1,500 games in a few months and maintaining a 50% win rate, I just have to ask, why are they not rewarded for that time investment? I lost my entire community, my mind, and my life this summer, right? And yeah, I know some of that's on me, if not all of it, but some degrees on y'all too. Don't get me wrong, I can't wait to see where this all leads and what sorts of journeys you'll take us on next. I'm so captivated by your worlds and characters and all the stuff that we've built together and shared together. And I believe y'all will do right and fix everything just like Jinx. So that's why I took the time to put this YouTube video together in hopes that we continue to see more of these issues addressed and that you guys are just aware. I realize it would be too much possibly to send someone all the way from bronze to challenger, which is close to my true MMR. But you don't want to disrupt the environment of higher elo at the same time. I don't know how you can expect more than 50% win rate across 1,500 games played and not seeing higher than silver. It seems like I will never reach my goals. I'm not sure if this is due to the 10% of strangeness this past season or something else, but I leave it up to Riot to determine. My case is not typical, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Thanks for listening, guys. If y'all like my videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Join me on Twitch for more League live streams, patch notes, ARAM, games with viewers, and more. See y'all next time. Yes.